What's going on, guys? Welcome back. Game number 2 between Taurent and Dimaga. Taurent, of course, being our Protoss player over here, and Dimaga being the red Zerg. So, Protoss versus Zerg here on... What map are we on right now? We are on Lost Temple, my friends. We are on Lost Temple. How exciting is that? How riveting is that? Should be a nice little matchup in the first game. Dimaga did make use of burrowed roaches with that speed upgrade, and because Taurent in that game didn't have a robotics and didn't have any cannons, he wasn't able to deal with those burrowed roaches properly. So just great job by Dimaga, great play. Unfortunately, again, for Taurent, with no vision, burrowed roaches are quite a bit of a headache with a gateway-heavy army. And already some very telling signs as to what's going on. Taurent dropping the pylon over here, going to be looking to go for a quick expansion, a very quick expansion, much quicker than he did in last game. Going to be forming his wall right here. Would not be surprised if we saw a forge with some cannons and then a gateway coming out with some more defensive units there. That's likely what we're going to be seeing from Taurent. Now, what is Dimaga going to plan on doing? Might be going for a fast expansion. He attempted to do so in last game, but because of pylon blocking the natural, he wasn't able to get it down as quickly as he would have liked. Now, depending on how quickly Taurent does find Dimaga's base, he might be able to get that in time. It looks like, is he going to be going, or is he going to cross positions? No, he is going to be heading right down to Dimaga's base, so he's going to find him very quickly, and that might allow him to deny the expansion. He's going to be moving on up, seeing this overload very soon, and I wonder if we're going to be seeing the same type of harassment from him. I wouldn't be overly surprised if we did. Lots of players kind of have these nice set strategies, trying to avoid the probe there, trying to make it so that he didn't see the probe, and going to be moving down the expansion before Taurent can do anything about that. Very sneaky action there by the probe. You did see he was moving up and around the probe and making sure that he didn't see him moving down, but a pylon is going to be placed right down here in the corner. Now, Dimaga fully aware of this. This might force Taurent to cancel the pylon. We might be seeing a cannon rush. I believe that's what is attempting to go on right now. The good thing about Taurent's placement here is it's going to prevent a surround of these drones. These drones are not going to be able to get a full surround on it. You can see only 4 able to engage. Might be seeing one more pylon placed up here. Where is that cannon action? Come on, cannons. I'm looking forward to this. It's going to be pretty interesting. Canning rushes, hilarious every single time. Frustrating to deal with, but hilarious when performed properly. But no, deciding to abandon the cannon rush, just going to let that pylon drop, and probably going to be going with some cannons at the front of his base here. So there goes that expansion. And where is our cannon buddy? Here we go. Going to be placed right over here. Right there we go. No, that's a pylon. So no early game defense right now. Now, of course, Taurent isn't too worried at this point about Zerglings running into his base because he knows that that pool is not yet finished. You can see here with the scout information, has seen that the pool isn't up quite yet, so not too concerned. Gonna need to come down with the cannon at some point. With no gateway right now, of course, there will be no zealots or anything else on the board. There is the gateway, and come on, let's go, cannon. You're going to need it soon. Zerglings are going to be coming out, and he's going to have to do something to be able to deal with that. There are 2 Zerglings on the way right now. None on the board at the moment, but 2 Zerglings en route, and he's going to be moving right inside of Taurent's base. And we can see here Dimaga fully aware, but no cannon going down, so that's going to, of course, prevent that. I wonder if that's a wall off right there between these 2 buildings. I think that may very well be. So we're going to have to force any Zerglings to move in. Okay, no, it isn't. But still, the cannon doing damage, and that's kind of its main purpose. Obviously, that's what a cannon does, besides detection. So it is going to serve its purpose. Now, cannon might not be in by the time these Zerglings get here. No, actually, I think it will be. If he can eke in just a little bit, though, he might manage to get in. Cannon finishing right now. He's going to try to move up, but no, force down. The probe's moving down right there, preventing him from pushing in because there is that threat of extra damage. And then also, he could have stood right here, put him on hold position. That would have stopped the Zerglings from being able to run in and forced him around, allowing the cannon to kill him. So different options here. And look at this little sneaky expansion over here for Dimaga. Dimaga very, very quickly, very early on in the game, going for a 3rd expansion and putting it in a position that Taurent isn't as likely to check out. You know, Taurent, if he's going to be checking any 3rd expansions, he's likely to check this position first and then this position. This one is honestly probably the last one that he would check. I guess aside from these island expansions, this is the last expansion that he's likely to check. So very interesting. Now, the issue with this, of course, is that if Taurent does find this expansion, it's pretty much screwed. There's not a lot Dimaga's going to be able to do. It's going to be difficult for him to run reinforcements into this 3rd expansion here. But if he manages to pull it off, and look at this additional hatchery. Holy crap, man. Dimaga is going nuts here with these expansions. Of course, this is placed here for those additional larvae, so he's going to be cranking out units as soon as he gets these bases saturated. And this additional larva from this hatchery is we're probably going to be seeing another queen. We're most likely going to be seeing another queen. There's a queen right there. Going to want another queen for this hatchery as well. But man, all the larvae that he's going to have access to, if he does not get hit early from Taurent, then he is going to be cranking out units, and it's going to be very, very difficult for Taurent to deal with. I'm really intrigued by this. I have not seen someone go for 4 hatcheries at the 6-minute mark in this game before, so this is going to be pretty interesting. Now, a little bit of a problem right now. The Taurent moving a probe scout down, and he's going to see the expansion. So Taurent aware of the expansion. This is a big problem right now for Dimaga. Now, Taurent is fully aware. He could just move a couple of Zealots down. In fact, I don't know why he's moving the Zealots down to the main of Dimaga, because if he just sent those to the expansion, he would take that out very quickly without issue whatsoever. And let me just reconfirm. I am pretty positive. Yeah, so he did, of course, see that expansion there, so he is fully aware. Probably going to be sending a few units. I mean, I would imagine. I don't know why he wouldn't. Still with 3 gateways right now. Nothing else coming out for him. Hopefully he gets robotics in this game. Hopefully he learned from his experience in last game. Lots of Zerglings right now moving out for Dimaga. The purpose of this, of course, he would have preferred to drone up a little bit harder, but he needs to get those Zerglings because he knows at this point the Taurent is aware of this expansion, and he wants something to be able to defend it with. Moving down some Zerglings from this direction as well. Should be able to take out this Zealot, no problem. Going to do what he can. Going to try to micro and do enough damage. Get a little bit of surround and then attack and try to take out the Zealot before it makes it back home, but no, looks like these cannons and stalkers are going to save the Zealot's life. I think so. Yep, Zerglings forced to push back right now. Now with this amount of Zerglings, he should be able to, depending on positioning, he should be able to take out those units right there. We do have no more Zerglings coming out right now. Metabolic boost just about finished, and just again, look at all the production ability right here. So much larva at this expansion. Larva over here, tons of larva over here. I mean, at any given time, he could just pump out a crap ton of units, and that's precisely what I expect him to do. Do have a nice Overlord spotting over here as well. Going to be having an Overlord in this position. Wouldn't be too surprised. Okay, I was going to say maybe we might be seeing some Nidus action, but in fact going to be coming out with that Spire instead. Extractors over at this 3rd base. He's of course going to want to saturate those to get enough Mutalisks on the board. He does need a lot of Vespene gas, so he does need those additional extractors. Of course, Metabolic boost is in, poking out with these stalkers right now. Taurent trying to get a good idea of what's going on. Going to be warping in a bunch of units right now. Here we go, 6 gate and Blink Stalker. So we're seeing 6 gate Blink Stalker right now from Taurent. Also getting that, oh, not the level 1 upgrade, actually getting the armor upgrade first. So opting to go for that armor upgrade as opposed to that level 1 upgrade. That of course is going to make these stalkers a little bit more durable and kind of prevent them from dying so quickly to a Zergling surround. And of course, once the blink in, it's going to be quite easy for him to deal with that, the surround from those Zerglings, able to blink his units away. But moving up the stalkers into the expansion, and this is the issue that I talked about. Dimaga is going to want to try to get us around. Blink isn't quite in yet, so he's not going to be able to blink right away, and this could be a kind of an issue right now. Zergling is going to get surrounded on his units. Blink just about to finish. He's going to be able to make it down in time. Blink is almost finished. Blink is finished. There we go. So it does manage to make it out. Now, the problem is, of course, that he didn't do enough damage to that expansion. He didn't do any damage to that expansion. In fact, Blink is just about off cooldown as well, so he's going to be able to stop this surround from damaging. But no blinking before getting that surround, so Zergling is going to be able to move in and do quite a bit more damage right now to Taurent. We are seeing some Zealots being warped in as well as additional Stalkers blinking up to the high ground right there. This is going to force those Zerglings to push away. I'm really concerned right now for Taurent. Dimaga is in quite a good position. Taurent didn't manage to do any damage to this expansion, so we can see the economy right now for Dimaga sitting on a lot of Vespene gas, but the reason, of course, being is that it's going to allow him, as soon as he has the minerals, to pump out lots and lots of Mutalisks. Now, of course, Blink Stalkers from Taurent, it's going to do okay against Mutalisks, but the real threat is, moving Mutalisks into the main base here, and then maybe moving some into the expansion, hitting from multiple angles. It's going to be harder for those Blink Stalkers to deal with it. Zerglings moving forward to try to defend this expansion. Too many units right now here from Taurent, though. These Zerglings alone aren't going to be enough. He's going to want to make use of some of those Mutalisks. We can see some Mutalisks over here, also coming down with some Spine Crawlers. Dimaga giving it his all in effort to try to defend this expansion. We do have a Proxy Pylon going down right now for Taurent. Zealot's going to force those Zerglings away again. These Mutalisks not going to be enough. They're going to want to get away. Lots and lots of Stalkers. In fact, I think at this point, Dimaga's pretty much going to have to give up on this base. Maybe consider expanding over here, trying to move forward with those Zealots, but the Stalkers just do too much damage. They're trying to move forward with those Mutalisks. Those Stalkers, again, just do too much damage, especially with that Blink peel. As you can see, Zergling's moving in, though, trying to get surrounded on those Stalkers, and the Zealots are very effective, of course, except against this Mutalisk. We do have quite a bit of Mutalisks right now, though, and it looks like Dimaga may actually be able to defend this. Mutalisks are pushing back and then regrouping and then going to be moving in again, trying to put down a cannon, but no, Taurent unable to do so. So many Mutalisks right now. Zealots streaming in, trying to do what damage they can. Sorry for that beeping sound. That's something on my desktop. Mutalisk moving in again and taking out all of those Stalkers. So Dimaga because of that huge economic advantage and all of the larvae that he's been sitting on from this point in the game, with just Mutalisk, was able to defend against Blink Stalkers. Now, of course, there were a few Zealots here, but those are going to do nothing against all of these Mutalisks right now. And at this point, Taurent is in a heap load of trouble, no doubt about that. Dimaga just has too many Mutalisks on the board. There's giant death cloud right now, almost at critical mass, I would say, the point where you just pretty much can't do anything about it unless he started to consider to get Storm. But no, going to be coming out with some Stargates to get Phoenixes. I don't think that's the best decision right now. I think at this point, Dimaga is in a commanding lead with these Mutalisks. He just has way too many that Phoenixes wouldn't make that much of a difference. You know, I think he would have been better off with Storm, to be honest with you. Now, again, this huge death ball without some sort of AoE, it's just going to be too much damage too fast for his units to deal with. And the fact that he hasn't been able to expand because of these Mutalisks harassing, Taurent hasn't been able to put down another expansion, and that puts his economy severely crippled in comparison to Dimaga's. His economy just isn't nearly as strong. So gonna have a really hard time dealing with these Mutalisks. Again, moving forward, no problem against these Blink Stalkers at all. Chrono boosting out some Phoenixes to do what he can, but again, I don't think it's going to be enough right now. We do have some more Mutalisks coming out right now for Dimaga as well. It's just, this is, I don't know, it's game over at this point, to be honest with you. So little at this point that Taurent can do to deal with these Mutalisks. He's just too far behind, and whenever he warps in units, they're going to be dropping immediately. Those Phoenixes, again, since they're so vastly outnumbered, there's nothing they can really do about it. And all of this time, all of this harass has allowed Dimaga to get up an additional expansion. As soon as he saturates that, I mean, it's honestly, it's game over already, to be honest with you. This is just, he's too far behind, way too far behind. Nothing he's going to be able to do. So good job by Dimaga, just amassing those Mutalisks, getting that third base up quickly. And the fact that Taurent didn't move out against that third base fast enough is kind of, I think, what lost him the game. Had he moved out faster, tried to cripple the economy of that third base, he could have been in a better position. But right now, again, Dimaga in critical mass here with these Mutalisks. There's nothing that Taurent can do. There's no way he's going to be able to expand at this point. And he does finally manage to call a good game. So good game between the two players. Dimaga going for that really fast 4 hatchery. He went for 3 expansions, additional hatchery in his base for that extra larva, allowing him to pump out more drones, allowing him to get a stronger economy, and then just allowing him to mass up these Mutalisks. And again, they reached critical mass. This made it to the point that Taurent wasn't able to expand. He tried to come out with those Phoenixes. That was a bit too late. And again, I'll say it one more time. Had he hit this third expansion a little bit sooner, I think Taurent would have been in a better position, but unfortunately it didn't go out that way. So again, that was game number 2 here between these two players. We're going to be moving on to game number 3 right after this. As always, if you like the content, make sure you subscribe to the channel, guys. Keep watching and keep owning. Sitting on just about 40,000 subscribers, to me, is pretty phenomenal. So, I mean, of course, thank you guys for that. I really appreciate all the support that you've given me and really allowed me to do what I do. But the other thing is that I kind of want to give back in a sense, and I want to showcase other casters in the community who maybe aren't as well known and get their name out there a little bit. So we're going to be looking at some casts from some other gamers here on the channel. Hopefully that's something that you guys enjoy. If you don't like a particular caster, you can of course just watch the games casted by me, but there's going to be some other things on the channel as well, some additional content. More cannot necessarily hurt, you know. If you don't, again, the more the better, right? I think that's how I see things anyways. But anyways, Taurent's going to be coming out with the Zealot right now, going to be blocking off that small little choke there. I don't know why his Zealot's following the over.